What if I told you that an ordinary-looking Lincoln Memorial cent, hiding inside an old coin jar, a forgotten piggy bank, or even your pocket change could be one of the most wanted coins among collectors? Today we're counting down the top 7 ultra-rare and most valuable Lincoln Memorial cent coins that continue to surprise collectors across America. Some of these coins look completely normal at first glance, but tiny details, unusual colors, minting characteristics, and exceptional preservation can completely change how collectors view them. Don't skip a single second of this video because the coin at the end has shocked collectors again and again. Stay with me until the end because you may recognize one of these coins before someone else does. And if you love discovering hidden American treasures, make sure you're subscribed because this channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. Some of these coins look completely normal at first glance, but tiny details, unusual colors, minting characteristics, and exceptional preservation can completely change how collectors view them. Don't skip a single second of this video because the coin at the end has shocked collectors again and again. Stay with me until the end because you may recognize one of these coins before someone else does. And if you love discovering hidden American treasures, make sure you're subscribed because this channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. Coin number 1. Our countdown begins with a coin that many Americans have handled without giving it a second thought, the 1982 Lincoln Memorial cent without a mint mark. At first glance, it appears to be just another penny from the early 1980s. But experienced collectors know that 1982 was one of the most important transition years in Lincoln cent history. During this year, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the Lincoln cent, making 1982 one of the most closely studied dates in the entire Lincoln Memorial series. This particular example shows a gray and brown layer on the reverse side, along with an attractive, fine, circulated condition. While natural toning alone does not make a coin rare, unusual surfaces, eye appeal, and the coin's overall preservation can make collectors take a closer look. Every detail deserves careful examination, because the 1982 series includes multiple varieties that continue to attract serious attention from the collecting community. The Lincoln Memorial design itself had already become one of America's most recognizable coin designs by 1982. On the front is Abraham Lincoln's famous portrait, while the reverse proudly displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design admired by generations of Americans. Depending on the exact variety, many 1982 cents were struck in either bronze or copper-plated zinc, making the year especially important for specialists who search for different compositions, weights, and striking varieties. Collectors carefully inspect coins like this for sharp lettering, strong details in Lincoln's portrait, clean rims, attractive original surfaces, and any unusual minting characteristics. Even small differences can separate an ordinary coin from one that becomes highly desirable in the numismatic market. That's why knowledgeable collectors rarely ignore a 1982 Lincoln cent until they've inspected it closely. Coins showing attractive original color, limited wear, and natural aging often receive more attention than heavily damaged examples. While millions were produced, only a tiny percentage survive in collector-worthy condition with the combination of features that advanced collectors seek. That's why exceptional examples continue appearing in auctions and private collections. For the specific coin you've described, a 1982 Lincoln Memorial cent without a mint mark, featuring a gray and brown reverse layer in fine condition, you stated a market value of $280,000. I can't confirm that as a current market price because coin values depend on professional authentication, the exact variety, grading, and recent auction results. If a coin genuinely sold for that amount, it would almost certainly be due to an exceptionally rare variety or unique characteristics verified by experts. If you discover a promising 1982 Lincoln cent, never clean or polish it. Keep it in a protective holder, compare its weight and variety with trusted references, and consider having it authenticated by a respected grading service before making any decisions. Sometimes the smallest detail can make the biggest difference. If you're enjoying today's countdown, remember that this channel brings fresh, rare coin discoveries, collector stories, and exciting Lincoln cent updates every single day. And believe me, the next coin on today's list becomes even more surprising. Coin number 2. Now we're moving to a Lincoln Memorial cent that many collectors have searched for over the years without realizing how closely they needed to inspect it. The 1995 with D Lincoln Memorial cent from the Denver Mint may look like an ordinary penny that has spent years in circulation, but experienced collectors know that the 1995 date is famous for important die varieties and subtle characteristics that can separate an everyday cent from a much more desirable collectible. The Denver Mint struck billions of these coins, yet only a tiny fraction attracts serious collector attention because of their variety, preservation, and authentication. The 1995 date is especially known among collectors for double die varieties, although ordinary circulated 1995 with D cents are generally common. The coin you've described features a dark brown layer with gray and green dots and a circulated appearance. Natural toning, environmental exposure, or storage conditions can create color variations like these, but color by itself does not determine rarity. Collectors instead focus on whether the surfaces remain original, whether there are verified mint errors or varieties, and how well the coin has been preserved. Every detail on the date, mint mark, lettering, and Lincoln's portrait deserves careful examination, because even subtle differences can dramatically change collector interest. The Lincoln Memorial Reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, remains one of the most iconic designs in modern American coinage. The 1995 with D cent was struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet weighing approximately 2.5 grams, while Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln continued on the obverse. These design details are familiar to millions of Americans, which is exactly why valuable varieties can sometimes hide in plain sight. Collectors searching this date often examine the lettering, the mint mark, the date, and the overall strike quality under magnification. Strong original surfaces, limited wear, and certified mint varieties receive the greatest attention. The excitement surrounding 1995 Lincoln cents comes from the possibility of discovering a genuine collectible variety rather than assuming every circulated example is valuable. For the specific coin you described, you stated a market value of $80,000. I can't confirm that as the current market value because no reliable pricing source supports that value for a circulated 1995 with D Lincoln Memorial cent based only on the description provided. Authentic market prices depend on the exact variety, professional grading, authentication, and recent auction sales. Verified rare 1995D era varieties can be worth substantially more than face value, but ordinary circulated examples are generally common. If you discover a promising 1995 with D Lincoln Memorial cent, resist the temptation to clean it. Store it in a protective holder, compare it carefully with verified variety references, and consider professional authentication before assigning a high value. Sometimes the smallest minting detail is what separates an ordinary penny from a coin that becomes the centerpiece of an advanced collection. And don't go anywhere. Our countdown is only getting started. This channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. And the next Lincoln Memorial Cent on today's list becomes even more surprising. Coin number 3. The next coin on today's countdown is one that has surprised countless collectors over the years. The 1984 Lincoln Memorial Cent without a mint mark. Millions of Americans have handled this penny, spent it, or tossed it into a jar without a second thought. But hidden among ordinary examples are coins that have become famous throughout the collecting community because of their unusual characteristics and sought-after varieties. This is exactly why experienced collectors never rush past a 1984 Lincoln Cent without giving it a careful inspection. The coin you've described has brown spots and an almost fine circulated condition. While natural toning and age can create brown coloration, those features alone do not make a coin rare. What makes 1984 especially exciting is that this year includes one of the best-known modern Lincoln Cent varieties, the famous doubled ear, double die variety, where doubling can be seen around Lincoln's ear, beard, and bow tie. That discovery transformed the 1984 date into one that collectors continue to examine with magnification. This Lincoln Memorial Cent was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which means it carries no mint mark. It features Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. Like other cents from this period, it was struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet, weighs approximately 2.5 grams, and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. These specifications are ordinary, but extraordinary varieties can still emerge from ordinary production. Collectors searching through rolls of pennies pay close attention to the sharpness of the lettering, Lincoln's portrait, the ear, beard, date, and the overall quality of the strike. Original surfaces with limited damage are generally more desirable than cleaned or altered coins. Even a circulated coin can attract attention if it displays a genuine and authenticated variety. For this video, you have listed a market value of $93,000 for the coin you described. I can't verify that as a current market value because prices depend on the exact variety, professional grading, authentication, and recent auction results. A standard circulated 1984 no-mint mark cent is not known to command that price based solely on the description provided, while authenticated rare varieties can be worth significantly more than ordinary examples. If you come across a 1984 Lincoln Memorial Cent, don't clean it or polish it. Store it safely, inspect it under magnification for known varieties, and if you believe you found something unusual, have it authenticated by a reputable grading service. A careful examination is always the best first step before assuming any significant value. Our countdown is getting even more exciting, and the next Lincoln Memorial Cent has another fascinating story waiting to be uncovered. Stay with us, and don't forget to subscribe, because this channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. Coin number 4. We're now entering the part of today's countdown where many collectors start paying very close attention. The 1998 Lincoln Memorial Cent, without a mint mark, may look like just another ordinary penny from the late 1990s, but appearances can be incredibly deceiving. Millions of these coins passed through cash registers, piggy banks, and pocket change across America. Yet a small number of unusual varieties have turned this date into one that experienced collectors still inspect carefully today. The coin you've described shows brown and grey spots with an old circulated appearance. Natural aging can create these colors over time, but seasoned collectors know that color alone doesn't make a coin rare. The real excitement surrounding some 1,998 Philadelphia cents comes from identifying the famous wide AM reverse variety, where the letters A and M in America are noticeably farther apart than on the normal design. This subtle difference has made certain authenticated examples far more desirable than ordinary circulation strikes. This Lincoln Memorial cent was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark. It features Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. Struck on a copper-plated zinc plancher, the coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. Although more than 5 billion Philadelphia cents were struck in 1,998, most are common, unless they are authenticated as a recognized variety or survive in exceptionally high grades. Collectors examine this date under magnification, paying close attention to the spacing in America, the sharpness of the lettering, the strike quality, and the originality of the surfaces. A coin with original undisturbed surfaces and a verified variety naturally attracts much stronger collector interest than a typical circulated example. Even tiny design differences can transform what looks like an ordinary penny into an exciting discovery for a serious numismatist. For this video, you've listed a market value of $72,000 for the coin described. I can't verify that as the current market value because there is no reliable evidence that a standard 1,998 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent with brown and gray spotting in old circulated condition commands that price. Actual value depends on whether the coin is an authenticated variety, such as the wide AM, its professional grade, and documented auction results. Standard 1,998 Philadelphia cents are generally common. If you ever find a 1,998 Lincoln Memorial cent, never clean or polish it. Instead, inspect the reverse carefully, compare it with verified variety references, and consider professional authentication if you believe you've discovered something unusual. In coin collecting, patience and careful examination often matter far more than first impressions. Our countdown is far from over, and the next Lincoln Memorial cent has another story that has kept collectors searching through pocket change for years. Stay with us, and don't forget to subscribe, because this channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. Coin number 5. As we continue today's countdown, we're reaching a Lincoln Memorial cent that has become one of the most closely inspected modern pennies in American coin collecting. The 1,983 Lincoln Memorial cent, without a mint mark, may appear ordinary at first glance, but experienced collectors know this date deserves far more attention than most people give it. Every year, thousands of collectors search through rolls of pennies, hoping to discover one with a valuable mint error or a famous double-die variety that could make it stand out from billions of ordinary coins. The coin you've described features a black layer with gray dots and a fine circulated condition. While natural discoloration, oxidation, or environmental exposure can create unusual colors, these characteristics alone do not establish rarity. What truly excites collectors about certain 1,983 cents is the existence of the well-known 1,983 double-die reverse variety, where noticeable doubling appears on the reverse lettering. Authenticated examples of this variety have become highly sought after because they represent one of the most recognized modern Lincoln cent errors. This coin, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark. It displays Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. The 1,983 cent was produced on a copper-plated zinc planchet weighing approximately 2.5 grams. Since 1,983 followed the U.S. Mint's transition to zinc planchets, collectors often pay close attention to weight, strike quality, and known die varieties when examining these coins. Serious collectors inspect every detail under magnification, looking for sharp lettering, strong design elements, original surfaces, and especially signs of the famous doubled reverse. Even a coin that has circulated can become highly desirable if it is authenticated as a significant variety. This is why knowledgeable collectors rarely dismiss a 1,983 Lincoln cent without a careful examination. For this video, you've listed a market value of $95,000 for the specific coin you described. I can't verify that as the current market value because there is no reliable evidence that a standard 1,983 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent with black toning and gray dots in fine condition commands that price. Actual market value depends on whether the coin is an authenticated rare variety, its professional grade, and documented auction results. Genuine 1,983 doubled die reverse cents can be worth substantially more than ordinary examples, but authentication is essential. If you discover a 1,983 Lincoln Memorial cent, avoid cleaning or polishing it. Place it in a protective holder, examine it carefully under magnification, and compare it with verified references for known varieties. If you believe you found something unusual, professional authentication is the safest way to determine whether your coin has collectible significance. Our countdown is building even more suspense, and the next Lincoln Memorial cent has another fascinating story that continues to capture the attention of collectors across the United States. Stay with us until the end, and don't forget to subscribe, because this channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. Coin 6. We're getting closer to the end of today's countdown, and the next coin is one that has earned a special place in the minds of Lincoln cent collectors. The 1,999 Lincoln Memorial cent without a mint mark may have circulated through thousands of hands, but knowledgeable collectors know this date is worth a careful look. Most people would never imagine that an ordinary-looking penny from 1,999 could become the subject of conversations among experienced numismatists, yet this date continues to attract attention because of its recognized varieties. The example you've described has a beautiful brown and gray layer with fine circulated condition. Natural toning can enhance a coin's eye appeal, but color alone does not make it rare. The real excitement surrounding certain 1,999 Philadelphia cents comes from the famous wide AM reverse variety, where the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America is noticeably wider than on the standard reverse. This variety has become one of the most popular modern Lincoln cent discoveries and is actively searched for by collectors throughout the United States. The 1,999 Lincoln Memorial cent was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark. It features Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The coin was produced on a copper-plated zinc planchet, weighs approximately 2.5 grams, and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. While billions of standard 1,999 cents entered circulation, authenticated variety coins remain the primary focus of collector demand. Collectors inspect this date carefully under magnification, paying attention to the reverse lettering, strike quality, original surfaces, and any signs of recognized die varieties. Coins that retain attractive original surfaces and are confirmed as genuine varieties are generally much more desirable than ordinary circulation pieces. This is why experienced collectors never rush to spend a 1,999 Lincoln cent before taking a closer look. For this video, you've listed a market value of $70,500 for the specific coin you described. I can't verify that as the current market value because there is no reliable evidence that a standard 1,999 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent with brown and gray toning in fine condition is worth that amount. Actual market value depends on whether the coin is an authenticated wide AM variety or another recognized mint era, along with its professional grade and documented auction history. Authenticated rare varieties can command significantly higher prices than ordinary examples. If you discover a 1,999 Lincoln Memorial cent, never clean it or attempt to improve its appearance. Store it safely in a protective holder, compare it with verified variety references, and if you notice anything unusual, consider professional authentication. A small design difference can sometimes be the feature that makes a coin especially interesting to collectors. The countdown isn't over yet. Our final Lincoln Memorial cent has one more fascinating story waiting to be revealed. Stay with us until the end, and don't forget to subscribe, because this channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries, collector insights, and exciting coin updates every single day. Coin number 7. We've finally reached the number 1 surprise in today's countdown, and this is the coin that has kept countless Lincoln cent collectors searching through pocket change, old coin jars, and family collections for decades. The 1,992 Lincoln Memorial cent without a mint mark is one of the most talked about modern Lincoln cents because a very small number of genuine variety coins have become legendary in the numismatic community. To the average person, it looks like an ordinary penny. But to an experienced collector, this date immediately deserves a second and even a third look. The coin you've described has dark brown spots, an attractive circulated appearance, and beautiful natural eye appeal. Those surface characteristics alone do not make a coin rare, but they can make it an interesting collectible if the surfaces remain original. What truly makes certain 1,992 Philadelphia cents famous is the extremely rare close AM reverse variety. On this variety, the letters A and M in the word America are much closer together than on the normal reverse design, creating one of the most celebrated modern Lincoln cent discoveries. Because of its rarity, authenticated examples have become highly desirable among advanced collectors and have achieved impressive auction results. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it has no mint mark. It features Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Like other Lincoln cents of this era, it was struck on a copper-plated zinc plancher, weighs approximately 2.5 grams, and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. Billions of ordinary 1,992 cents entered circulation, but the authenticated close AM variety remains one of the key modern varieties that collectors hope to discover. Collectors carefully inspect the reverse under magnification, paying particular attention to the spacing of A and M in America, the sharpness of the strike, the originality of the surfaces, and the overall condition. A genuine close AM variety, authenticated by a respected grading service, can attract tremendous interest because of its scarcity. This is exactly why experienced collectors never overlook a 1,992 Lincoln Memorial cent without examining the reverse design first. For this video, You've listed a market value of $85,000 for the coin you described. I can't verify that as the current market value because there is no reliable evidence that a standard 1,992 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent with dark brown spotting in circulated condition is worth that amount. Actual market value depends on whether the coin is an authenticated 1,992 close AM variety, its professional grade, and documented auction history. Verified close AM examples can be worth substantially more than ordinary 1,992 cents, but authentication is essential. If you think you've found a 1,992 Lincoln Memorial cent with unusual characteristics, never clean it or attempt to improve its appearance. Preserve it exactly as you found it. Compare it with trusted variety references and consider professional authentication. In the world of rare coins, a tiny design difference can be the key to an extraordinary discovery. That brings us to the end of today's Top 7 Ultra-Rare and Most Valuable Lincoln Memorial Cent Coins Countdown. If you enjoyed uncovering these fascinating Lincoln Cent stories, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because this channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries, collector tips, hidden coin varieties, and exciting US coin updates every single day. And before you spend another Lincoln cent, take one last careful look. You never know when an ordinary penny might turn into your most exciting coin discovery.